Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode of our NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode. Hope you're all having a great day today. We have race number 3 coming your way at Homestead Miami, and it was an interesting one to say the least. And you'll see what I'm talking about as the episode goes on. We're coming off of our first top 10 and our second start at the Daytona Road Course, and coming into this one, this is actually on still the day one patch. Now, everything after this episode from here on out from NASCAR 21 Ignition content in general on my channel will all be on that second patch, and very excited, of course, to be showing you guys some more of that second patch update as we jump through into the weekend here, though starting off with some Truck Series and Xfinity Series racing from Homestead Miami. Before we get to the Cup Series side of things, Stuart Friesen picks up the victory here in Homestead, Miami for the Truck Series there, as he would hold off Johnny Sauter there. As you see the finishing order, Haley Deegan up inside the top 10 right there. And then on the Xfinity side of things, it was Ty Gibbs again coming through to pick up the victory here in Homestead, Miami, holding off a rookie of Sam Mayer and a young Harrison Burton as well there in that number 20 car there. So Gibbs to victory lane there once again, as you're going to see the finishing order very quick on it there as well. As we're going to now jump into, though, the Cup Series side of things. I hope you guys enjoy this iRacing add-on here from time to time, and you're going to see a lot of iRacing stuff potentially coming here soon. Can't say exactly what it is yet, but do stay tuned for that here now, as we are into the practice session here, a track that I enjoy with Homestead Miami here. So this should be hopefully a good result for us here in the Dixie Vodka 400. It is a bit rough based off of still the day one patch that I am playing on. So we were in for a rocky experience, and you're going to see that throughout the episode here as we jump into the garage and get ready to go here. Here we were in the garage getting ready to practice here at Homestead at Miami Speedway. I was excited for this one here. I love Homestead Miami, my favorite mile and a half on the NASCAR Cup Series schedule, and I wanted to be able to get up on the wall and, of course, try and rip that wall all race long. Finally, using the wheel, getting a little bit more used to it in this game, but with the day two, or not day two, the second patch coming out, you can finally turn steering assist off, and I've already tested that. Feels so much better on the wheel, although the feedback in the wheel hasn't really changed. It's still very little. It overall feels better and drives better on low or off steering assist. So we unfortunately here in this episode still are, of course, required to use it on low. So you're going to see that I was having a tough time dealing with that. With the steering assist, it really kept me away from being able to run up by the wall because the car just drives so weird, to say the least here. So that was unfortunate, but like I said, we just try to make the best of the situation that we're in. So coming out of the garage now into the track here, we're going to make a lap here, showcasing a lap around Homestead Miami Speedway in NASCAR 21 Ignition there. As you see, some cloud cover here today. The only thing I don't like about the weather system is it's not dynamic. You cannot choose to randomize the weather conditions. You will have to choose yourself if you want it to be clear, some scattered clouds like this, or if you want it to be overcast. That's something that needs to be changed. We need to be able to have an option to have some random dynamic weather come into this game here in the future. Unfortunately, after some game crashes, I couldn't do qualifying and had to simulate it, so I don't have any qualifying to show you guys. So we're actually just going to jump straight into the race pre-show here with MRN commentary from Alex Hayden.
Today's race at Homestead Miami Speedway. This track has gone through different changes over the years, originally starting as a low bank surface when it was introduced, then reconfigured to the current high, progressively banked oval we race at today. Will we see a new face add their name to the trophy, or will we see a repeat winner?
All right, boys, one of my favorite tracks on the schedule, so let's go have a good run today. There you hear myself to the team over the radio here as we're getting ready to take the green flag from Homestead Miami Speedway. So like I said, we had to simulate qualifying. I originally did it before I had a game crash with my previous 5 attempts of recording this race. But like I said, we had to simulate it, and we actually start down in P24. So a decent simulated effort from our AI here as we are underway from Homestead Miami Speedway, 67 laps, still no stages in the game, and with the new patch that I will be recording on with the next episode, there's still no stages in the game as well, so I have no idea when stages are going to be present in the game. There's, you see, already some contact there with Anthony Alfredo, and just like I said earlier in this episode, hard to adapt to the low steering assist, especially at 1.5 mile tracks here, as I was having a tough time. The car was turning way more than I expected it based off my inputs, and that's why I was running right into the side of the 38 of Anthony Alfredo here, but trying my best to just really quickly adapt to it here now. As you can see, a full-on pack race right there behind us. It's going to be a pack race in front of us, and hopefully as these laps go on, we will be able to move our way forwards. And that started to happen. We get to the outside of Anthony Alfredo here on lap 3, and then we come through now a few moments later on lap 4, and we got 3 wide actually with Alfredo and Hamlin. More contact. That's the 3rd time we've had contact already with Alfredo, all 3 of them actually being my fault. Now as we're as well going to go and below the doors right off of the number 15 of James Davis in there in that Rick Ware Racing Chevrolet Camaro here. And then we continue to move our way forwards. We passed Chastain. We got up to this next group of cars with Truex, Austin Cindric, a fellow rookie of ours, Kurt Busch, the champion of the Cup Series in 2004, and then Cody Ware in that number 51 car there for Rick Ware as we exit turn 2 3 wide, 3 by 3 actually, 2 rows deep. This is the moments where the AI really do shine here. They can put on a good show. I think the only downside is they get too much of a 3x3 into a pack up at the front of the field as well as the run goes on, and that's something that I would like to see motorsport games work on a little bit, try to get them a little bit more spread out. I think that would be a nice direction to go in fixing this really rough AI currently in this game here. Now as I'm going to try and blow the doors off of that 51, a little bit of contact with him. We were 4 wide through the center of 1 and 2 here, and on the exit of the corner though, we had the momentum to get clear of everybody already up into P14 here now as we would run down Corey LaJoy as well as Ryan Newman, and we're going to pass both of these guys as well. So we're about to move up into 12th place. 11th place currently Kyle Larson. You might notice no replay cameras currently. There is a reason for that. I was only able to get like 2 shots, but I'll explain the reason towards the end of the episode here now as we came through to lap 15. Now at this point, I'm in no man's land. Denny Hamlin is 13th place behind us, nearly 2 seconds back, and then Joey Logano's the next car in front of me, about a second ahead. I actually get to the outside wall on the exit of turn 4 on lap 15, and that moment right there would change the handling of this car for the rest of this first and opening run. It made it so much tighter, and that's why I was actually trying to stay off the wall a little bit here, but unfortunately tightened up the car a lot. But I still had enough pace in this car to run down the main pack, but I was really plowing on the exit of the corner. You could see me pushing up so hard, and I was having to lift here out of the throttle, and anytime you're lifting at 1.5 miles in this game, you're giving up time. So you want to honestly have a loose setup as you possibly can, because you want to be on the throttle as much as possible at these 1.5 mile tracks. Now there is some, of course, with some off throttle time, but you go to like a track like Atlanta, it's just full throttle the whole time. Even Miami, like you can get the setup clicked in with these pit options to be just full throttle pretty much the whole way around, and that's what you're aiming for here. Now as we continue to close in on this pack, already closing into lap 30 by the way, now as it felt like it was flying by without stages, which is weird to say, as stages usually make it a little bit shorter with the caution laps and whatnot, skipping between the caution laps and the green flag racing here. Now as we were, like I said, getting closer and closer, and we got within a few car lengths here of the 20 of Christopher Bell, the 34 of McDowell, but here you see what I was talking about with up at the front of the field it being way too packy. They should get more spread out than this, and it just wasn't happening unfortunately here. But at the same time, it was allowing me to get up into the mix here now as we're side by side with Christopher Bell now down into turn 3. Logano, the 2018 Cup Series champion, just in front of us, our former NASCAR Heat 5 rival. But once again, I got really tight through the center of the corner and had to get onto the throttle, and immediately you see me actually looking at those pit options. I made some adjustments there. I was loosening up the car, and at this point I made a game plan. I don't care what the AI do. I'm going to pit on lap 33, basically right about the halfway point of this race, because if we can make it to lap 33, well, we know we can make it to lap 67 on field. So I was just trying to make it a couple more laps at this point here now as we come through to lap 31, 3 wide. In front of us are McDowell, Bowman, Ryan, Blaney as well, and then we make it to that 33rd lap. So you can see right at the end of this run I'm on, I was really starting to give up time, and that was simply just due to the tightness in the car. I just couldn't get that throttle down. So I'm making sure, verifying here that we got the adjustments that I need. I actually add some grill tape, mess with the right rear tire pressure a little bit here, and we're going to bring it into the pit lane this lap. So we made it to about that halfway point, so I felt like this is a good option to come in right here now. Just hope that somehow a caution doesn't come out. The odds of a caution coming out very low here. A bit of a mistake here into the pit lane. We have a weird line, and all of a sudden our car, our AI, is going to start doing burnouts in the pit lane. I don't even know what in the world to think here, as oh my goodness. what is going on? We are literally just doing burnouts in the pit lane. And eventually, he gets it figured out there. And you know what? I mean, I'm not going to lie. While the AI was doing that, as much as that just destroyed our race, that looked pretty cool. So there was one positive out of that as we bring it into the pit lane, and we as well have to do repairs to the car. We're going to give up a lot of time. I think we're going to be probably more than a lap down after that happening right there, because I just cannot believe what just happened, as we're gonna now get those tires put on, and then we're gonna send our rest of our crew here over the pit wall to repair this thing here. And actually the guy is gonna bring the whole saw out here to the car, so I think I must have done more damage than I had previously thought to this car here, because I feel like when they bring the saw out, that means you pretty much killed the car, but maybe not quite the case here. Now, as the car is fully repaired, we get back out here towards the pit lane onto the track, and I can tell you those adjustments made one heck of a difference. Now, we were hauling the mail, to say the least, now as we run down Cody Ware there in 24th place. But look at this, I can just blow by them. I can stay in the throttle as much as I want. Couldn't quite hear because I'm trying to avoid traffic, but now the AI, surprisingly, is already coming into the pit lane here, so we didn't really pit much earlier than them, only a couple laps. But now I get into the back of the 41 of Cole Custer. They were checking up so much in the corners compared to myself, obviously on fresh tires and a better now adjusted car. We were able to go unbelievably fast, and I felt like I was probably the fastest car on the track, honestly, at this point here. And now it's very sketchy trying to race your way around cars pitting, because we made contact with the 14 briefly there. He nearly hooked me into the outside wall. I knew it wasn't looking good for myself at this point here, and we were probably going to be down in like 30th or like 25th, somewhere in that area, as we do pass Austin Dillon. But that was just to get on the lead lap contact with the 41 and the 23. I nearly wrecked myself there on the apron. Thankfully, we save it, keep it going in the right direction now as we head down this backstretch, expecting to see Cole Custer, Bubba Wallace bring it into the pit lane here. Probably any moment here, probably this time around actually here, as you can see how much slower they are through the center of the corner compared to myself, and sure enough they do both come into the pit lane here. Now as we got problems on the pit entry, there's cars in the barrels, and it wouldn't change on the exit of turn 4 on lap 38. We have Joey Logano up and over on his side in the barrels in the pit lane. Now here's a look at what just happened to Joey Logano. He plows into the back of his teammate of Austin Cindric, who's into the barrels, and then Cindric gets going, Logano piles into the barrels, and then it gets worse. The 17 of Chris Buescher just comes in hauling the mail, sends him up and over on his side, and then he lands back on four wheels, and his car is now destroyed. And we would continue. Joey Logano would actually spend the rest of this race going in and out of the pit lane lap after the lap. It got worse with the AI on lap 41. They are now just stopped on the access road right there with the 10 of Almirola, the 24 of Byron, and then more cars piled in, including Joey Logano and that 17 of Chris Buescher here. So aside from that, you know what, I'm just doing my own thing on the track, trying to move my way forwards here, and we were slowly regathering all of those positions that I had lost due to that pit stop situation there where our car was doing burnouts. We just passed the 51 of Cody Ware, and then there was a little bit more of an issue right there. The AI really checked up when Joey Logano was pitting. That allows me to blow the doors off of everybody here, and I go through now up into the 22nd position, trying to run down David Reagan, and we would run him down here for P21 on lap 45. I really couldn't help but laugh at the whole AI situation that was going on here. Now, it's unfortunate, obviously it is, but it was hilarious at the same time here now as we come through to lap 51. Now we have run down Cole Custer there for Stuart Haas Racing. You can see the day-to-night transitions. Obviously, Homestead is supposed to end at nighttime. It clearly doesn't here in a 25% race, but I could see the lighting changing. The sun was getting lower and lower, and I was really using that front straightaway to kind of be my judgment point of that here now, as it's nice to see that. You would have to do like a 100% race probably to see the full effect now as we pass that 7 of Corey LaJoie. So we're up into the top 20, which in my opinion was a nice rebound considering what had happened with the pit lane. Now with a little bit over 10 laps to go, I'm doing everything I can to make up 4.5 seconds to the next car of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. So obviously it wasn't looking like at this point that was going to happen now, as we were probably having to settle in for a 19th place finish here from Homestead Miami, which unfortunate, but nonetheless I will not complain too much about only losing 7 or so positions compared to where we were originally before we made our pit stop now, as we come through to 10 laps remaining in Homestead Miami Speedway. McDowell way off the pace. He's bringing it in and out of the pit lane as well here, as his car is absolutely destroyed. Just bringing it home is what I'm doing, trying to make sure I'm not crashing this car now as we're trying to maximize the points we get. Now to lap 62. It is 5 laps to go for myself because I am 1 lap down to Kyle Busch, who was leading the way here in these closing moments in Homestead, Miami. Still such a shame that this track, by the way, isn't the championship race anymore now, as it is so deserving of it now. Way better than Phoenix, but now closing in here on the final lap. We couldn't close enough there on Santos. We did close in these closing laps, but not enough. White flag in the air for Kyle Busch, including myself, as we go down this front stretch down towards turn 1 and 2 for the final moments here. As, you know what, an up and down race to say the least. We started off rough. We gathered our way through the field. We picked up a bunch of positions. We hit the wall, tightened up the car because of that wall. We made adjustments to make the car better, but then we had our situation on the pit lane. So things went right, things went wrong, and nonetheless, at the end of the day, it's going to be a 19th place finish here as we come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Kyle Busch comes through to win in Homestead Miami Speedway for the first time this season, and the first non-Hendrick winner of the season as we come through to cross the line for a 19th place finish here in Homestead Miami. But wait, during the replays here, you're going to see the finishing order on your screen, but when I was trying to get replay angles, replay cameras, footage for this episode, my game would have a huge moment that you're about to see here now. But like I said, you see the finishing order on your screen. Alex Bowman there, a good run in P3. Harvick in second place. Chase Elliott up there in the top 10. Ryan Blaney P10. They're rounding that top 10 out now. As at the bottom of the grid, you had Michael McDowell there, who actually got disqualified. A bunch of drivers actually DNF there, including Logano, Almirola, as well as Christopher Bell. But here's where everything went wrong. So my game actually crashed when I was getting replay cameras here. I was on board with Kyle Busch trying to get him crossing the line to win the race. So that would be a nice shot for the video, but right there, it would freeze. It would crash after I had recorded the whole race. So that meant I had to sim the rest of the race. Or I didn't have to, but I was not going to do the whole thing over again. So I just simulated it, and Ryan Blaney ends up winning instead of Kyle Busch. So Ryan Blaney is instead the one who gets the race victory, locks himself into the playoffs over Kyle Busch, picking up the win as he actually finished 8th place in the simulated version. And we ended up, in the mid-20s instead, or like in the 30s actually there, which is unfortunate. Sometimes it's just how it goes with the state of the game, but now, like I said, we know we don't have to play this state of the game anymore because we had another major patch come out, and I'm hopeful that glitches like that are not going to happen anymore. As I've played some of the new patch in the replay system, it seemed a lot more smooth and better, so that's promising. Unfortunate how it ended. Nothing we can do about it, obviously. But as always, if you guys still enjoyed the production I put up today, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this episode, as well as anything else on the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Before we end it, of course, I want to say thank you to the Going Racing members of MJ, Joseph 9001, Timothy Arline, Hayes Gaming, Brett Durward, Darky Gengar Gaming, AJ Vasur, Russell Dixon, Kenneth Barnett, Dana9302, Speed Demon 341, Ellis Emery, DMuzzy65, as well as Joe Brett. I appreciate you guys' support so much, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.